going to the next slide, we will be studying about the storage and the different types of root system. Okay, modified. The roots have been modified. See, if we have to go back to history a few million years back, you know, the planet Earth has undergone a lot of changes, right? There has been asteroid showers, there has been meteor showers, there have been asteroid attacks, due to which the dinosaurs, not only dinosaurs, but whichever area the asteroids fell, you know, the entire area were burnt. Then, you know, even in the entire world, there are conditions like desert. Yes, Yashika?
And single cell bacteria were the first organisms to be born.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah. So I'm talking about a stage where all these have been already been there, right? But in spite of that, like the dinosaurs were already there, huge trees were there, plants, shrubs, unicellular organism, everything was there. But in spite of that, for example, even now, for example, in Canada, we are having in America, you know, there is this part called, I think so, New Orleans or some area over there where we are having a huge forest fire which is on for the last few days, right? So there are such catastrophes happening throughout, you know, for millions of years it has been happening. So, you know, nature is very smart. What does nature do? Nature adapts. What is the word adapts? Adaptation, adapts. A matlab, adaptation would mean, you know, changing yourself as per the
And
new
changing
environment.
yourself according to the surroundings.
Exactly, exactly. For example, you know,
Ma'am,
yeah,
we can take on humans itself. As coming like we were monkeys, and the change was coming throughout. The tail was gone. Like
correct,
that.
correct. So, you know, similarly, you know, when human beings found that, you know, we could survive on earth, land, you know, we could make dens. Why do we need to live on plants? Why do we need to live on trees? Right? So that is when, you know, the tail got totally slowly, you know, the tail, the size of the tail became smaller, and it got a little, you know, we still have something called a tailbone, which shows that our, you know, forefathers were actually monkeys, some form of monkeys, right? So that by adaptation, what I also mean is that, uh, for example, all of us, you know, stay in the plains. Plains matlab, you know, normal city life where there are no mountains, where there is no sea. Now, all of a sudden, a few friends have planned to go to the mountains, right? Now, all of you know that, you know, higher you go to the mountain, there's something called an altitude. With increasing altitude, the oxygen level goes down, and
Yes, ma'am, it becomes very cold also when the
it becomes
altitude
very,
keeps
yeah, it
increasing.
becomes very cold and it becomes very difficult to breathe, right? And here in city life, we are habituated breathing normally, and it's neither cold nor hot. It's just about okay. So, for example, you have to climb the mountain. So, what would you do? For example, you can scale the mountain in 3 days, but in 3 days, you have to reach a certain altitude where, you know, the oxygen levels would really dip. So, what would the a mountain trainer do? Mountaineer do? First, they will stay, you know, they will stay at the base of the mountain. They will camp here. At the base of the mountain, they will be camping maybe for 2 days. Why? Because to get the children, the body acquainted to the temperature. Because here the temperature is 8 or maybe, you know, 2 degrees Celsius, whatever, you know, maybe 8 degrees Celsius. So, you know,
Ma'am, in here we were having like a play park where ice is there, and I gone to there and their degree Celsius was 10 degrees Celsius. It was almost they gave us boots and all, and it was I was really shivering from there.
yeah. So just imagine in one day, for example, a person stays in Delhi, right? And in, you know, from Delhi, where the temperature is maybe during the winters also, I'm just taking into consideration, it's 20 degrees Celsius. She takes a flight and goes to the base of Himalayas where the temperature is 8 degree. So a direct reduction in 12 degrees Celsius of temperature, what will happen to the person? It will be like a shock to the body, a trauma to the body, thermal shock. So the person will camp at the base for 2 days. For 2 days, the person will get acquainted to the temperature, to the, the surrounding and the lungs, the body, everything will get acquainted. In initial first day, the person will have a lot of problem. Will feel cold, will shiver, will not be feeling hungry. They might have frost bites, but second day onwards, they'll be feeling okay. Depending on person to person, they might also increase it to 3 days, 4 days, whatever. Then the next day, the fifth day or the fourth day, they will scale till this much. They will not go the whole length. Again, they will put a camp here. They will tent. They will put a tent and camp here. And again, stay here for a 1 day or 2 days. Why? Because here the temperature is 1 degree. So here the body has to get adapted, acquainted to the temperature here. Again, after a day or two, they will again scale till this much. And then they'll stay here for a day or two. And maybe the 6th or the 7th day, they will reach the tip where the temperature would be maybe minus 3 degrees Celsius. But just imagine if the person would have landed in the morning from Delhi, 20-degree temperature, is very fit. So the person decided in the next 6 hours, I will go from 20 degree to minus 3 degrees Celsius. What would have happened? The person would have collapsed midway.
The person will collapse because in Delhi when the temperature is hot, he gets used to the hot temperature, and when he suddenly goes to a cold temperature, goes where the temperature is really cold, he will collapse because he's not used to it.
Yeah, so basically that is why we were saying that, adaptability, adaptation. So nature, each and every human being, not only human being, even each and every living being, each and every living being is smart enough to adapt itself to the new environment, to the new surroundings. For example, in Delhi also the person was able to live, it was able to stay. This person, when he went to the high mountains also, he could survive there because his body adapted. He adapted. Each and every body part, the brain, lungs, heart, his skin, his eyes, everything has got adapted. But it has happened over a period of time.
He get goosebumps.
Yeah, and it has not happened in a day, in a week. It has taken some time. That is adaptation. Similarly, plants also go through adaptation. Every living organism goes through adaptation. Roots have also adapted. Why did they have to go through adaptation? Let's just study this. Okay.
Ma'am, but like I have a question regarding this. Ma'am, so he went up like that, he or she went up like that, will they come down also in the same way?
Down would be easier. Maybe if he took 6 days to climb up the mountain, he would take maybe 2 to 3 days to scale down. Because now that he's got acquainted to the lower oxygen level, climbing down will not be a task. He will only get more and more oxygen now.
Okay.
Climbing up is always a task. If you take stairs, climbing the stairs is difficult. But when you climb down the stairs, it's easier. So basically, these are roots which have got converted into storage roots. Normally, where do we have the fruits? Where do we have the edible stuff? The edible stuff are normally found in the fruits, right? Fruits or vegetables, whatever be it, right? So these are like the part of a plant. But, initially we all thought that these are all fruits and vegetables. True, these are fruits and vegetables. But basically, this is a root. Turnip is a root, right? Sweet potato is a root. Carrot is a root. But this root has got storage capacity. This stores a lot of nutrients, water, minerals, vitamins, right? Sugars. And, with its storage capacity, people thought that let's start having this because this is also edible. So that is how these roots also became edible, right? They are swollen and they have the capacity to store food, right? So these kind of roots are known as tuberous roots. They are known as tuberous, right? And they are also called as tubers.
Ma'am, are all tubers crop roots? Tap roots, sorry.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. They could also be fibrous. Right? They could also be fibrous.
But how is it possible?
One second. Who asked this question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pragya, you'll have to repeat your question once more.
Ma'am, I was asking that are all edible root tap roots?
See, basically, they should be tap roots, but then again, there would be a few exceptions also, right? For example, if I could give you an example of onion, though onion is not a root, onion is a stem, but onion has a adventitious root.
Ma'am,
Right.
what is adventitious root?
So adventitious root onion, though onion is a stem, it is a modified stem. It's not a modified root, but it has got adventitious roots. And what are adventitious roots? You might not have to study it this year, but I'm just sharing it for your knowledge. Adventitious roots are roots which do not require a medium to grow, right? So basically this can, once it gets a favorable atmospheric condition or temperature, this will just start rooting. You must have seen, onions, you will see that you just keep an onion for some time.
Is it vegetative propagation?
Yeah, of course it is a vegetative propagation.
Vegetative fruit mainly means like vegetative propagation, I need to say.
See, you cannot say directly vegetative propagation. What I mean to say, it is a kind of vegetative propagation, but once it gets a favorable condition, if you just keep a onion just like that, right, for a few days, you will see that within a few months, within a few weeks, the shoot system and the root system will keep growing, right? That is known as an adventitious root, right? It doesn't wait for a medium. It will grow, the roots will grow on its own once it gets a favorable condition. All right.
Is coconut an example for like adventitious root, because coconut start like its root system and shoot system if we do not plant it also.
See, coconut, I know it has got a shoot system, right? So I don't know if the root system also develops or not. I'm not too sure about that. I just need to check. Right? Palm tree, I know it has got adventitious roots. Right? Palm trees have adventitious roots, but I'm not too sure about coconut. I need to check that. Okay. So tubers, we are clear about it. Tubers are basically roots which have got the capacity for storage. So basically these are roots, tubers and storage. These have the capacity of storage. They are swollen in nature. They are edible. These are the few points of tubers, modified roots. Okay. Now there's another kind of root which provides additional support, right? So what additional support, do they provide? We have seen that once the tree grows really big and really huge, right? What happens is that there are certain prop roots which comes out. What are prop roots? For example, here we have given an example of a tree which is a 200-year-old roots.
I still didn't understand the difference between a modified root and a normal tap root or a fibrous root.
See,
Normal root.
there is always one example which you should remember, one difference that you should remember. In case of a taproot or a fibrous root, what happens? They do all the four work. They fix the soil, they absorb water and mineral, they hold the soil together, and these are the three things that the roots do, which any normal taproot or fibrous root would do. What would a modified root do? A modified root would do whatever it is modified for. If it has been modified for storage, then it will store food, right? If it has been modified for support, it will support. This is one. These are the certain things that it would do extra, right? That
Yeah,
is what.
yeah, I would like to know the other point about that. You told to be the remembers, right? About modification of roots for storage. One is tubers, other is storage, edible, and one other point was there. I just want to know it.
So I said storage, they are swollen, they are edible. These are the 3 points that I shared. Is there anything else that I wrote?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Yeah, these are the 3 points that I wrote. Okay. So next, when I say that roots can also be modified for support, you must have seen, gardeners, what do? Once the plant becomes once the tree becomes too big, the leaves spread, the branches spread here and there. So what do? They add extra support. They may add a huge bamboo stick, and support the branches here. They add an extra support here so that these branches don't fall off. They support it here. But there are a few trees which do it very naturally. What happens? They have aerial roots. All of a sudden you will find that from this branch, small root is developing. A small stalk-like thing is developing, and coming, it will slowly come towards the soil and then firmly root it on the soil. So this is a root which had got an aerial root, right? From the top, it is coming down, ulta. This is just going the other way around. Instead of under the soil, this is above the soil. This is an aerial. That's why we call it as a aerial root, which is above the soil. So what is the purpose? Without any purpose, it doesn't come. The purpose is to hold the tree, because the tree has become so broad. This one trunk is not enough. It needs more support. So various roots comes down from the different branches and come and root towards the anchors towards the soil to give more support. You would be surprised to know that there is a 200-year-old banyan tree in Calcutta, the botanical garden, which is actually 200-year-old. This is the main trunk. This is the main trunk. But this is not this much. It is like huge. It is more than the size of a football ground. Support, or to give extra support, right? That's the meaning of so this has been modified for support. Now there is also breathing roots. What are breathing roots? Okay, apart from banyan tree, even sugarcane has prop roots for support. So you
Ma'am,
can check.
stilt roots. They're stilt roots.
They are kind of still roots, but they also have been modified for support, right? So even maize, if you see maize, even maize will have supporting roots, right? So if I write banyan will have prop roots, and sugarcane and maize will have stilt roots. What is the meaning of stilt? Has anyone of you seen stilt? When you go to the circus, you will find normally the joker, the clown of the circus will stand on two huge long sticks, and here he will keep his feet, and here is the joker, here is the joker. So the two long sticks that he stands on is known as the stilt. It's actually used for support. So that is
Yeah, ma'am, in some houses also it's from like types of houses we have learned, and tilt houses are there.
exactly. Even in houses you have, especially houses which are there in the middle of the forest, or marshy areas, they will have long bamboo like structures here, and here there's a land, so they have a ladder going from here. This is the ladder. So these are all stilts, long support, so that snakes and other insects and animals don't climb up the house. So even sugarcane and maize they have stilt roots. Now there are certain tree roots which last time, I don't know if I had discussed with your class. There is something called the mangrove. This is not a mangrove plant, but this is mangrove. What are mangrove? Mangrove is an area which is like a this is found normally near the delta region or near the rivers, right? So basically there is a mangrove area called Sundarban, which is in West Bengal. Right? This is the biggest and the largest mangrove in India. So, what is the speciality of mangrove? Here, the trees grow in marshy areas. What is the meaning of marshy? Matlab, they would have a little muddy water, more of water, right? So in this case, what happens is that the roots come, up. The roots come up. Why do they need to come up if they were to be found? Roots were supposed to stay here under the ground. Why do they need to come up? They have to come up because they need oxygen, they need air, right? And these kind of roots, breathing roots, are called pneumatophores, right? These kind of roots are called pneumatophores, which are found only in mangrove plants, right? So this is aerial roots, these are pneumatophores. Pneumatophores is a very important word. Please write it down. Okay, so these vertically grow upwards. They're seen upwards. So for example, here, till here the water will be there. So they have to rise above the water, take oxygen or to take whatever, basically it requires oxygen from the air.